Dude, if you're seeing this right now, you're watching The Party with Marty.
We're here to party with Marty!
Penetrate inward. I think we may have mentioned that before. And then, in the block they have in the joint, it secretes antibiotics there, and I'm taking an oral. So I'm getting 3 different shots of antibiotics fighting this. But if you saw that one, come back again, that one in the middle, we're down to that green, that's very little compared to the last few times. And that green, of course, being the infection, the crap we're trying to get out of there, so that we can put the joint back in. So we can open it up one more time and put the joint back in. That's the great part of all this. Once there's healed, then we can open it up again and put the joint back in and hopefully be done with it. It's just
done with it. Yeah, I mean, it does look 100 times better than last week. Even you could see the healing is happening. Zoom in on this picture over here. It looks like that middle part's like turning into a scab, and then the top and the bottom have like really started to close up finally.
Yeah, it's just doing. Lee was real happy with it. He goes, it's forming together real well, because he said every time you have one of these, it's going to take longer. It's not going to heal faster. Yeah. And because I was telling him, like, man, usually after 4 weeks, I'm walking on it at least. A little, very lightly. I just got in the last 24 hours before I could put that foot on the ground.
And have
just lay it on the ground, and can't really support a whole lot of weight, but I'm just getting there. But it took a month. And I tell you what, though, and Lee and I talked about this. The hardest part for me, of course, not being able to, having to go through the surgery itself, but the life change that it has brought. And, he actually mentioned how he was amazed by it. The fact that I'm, living by myself, I don't have anybody helping me. He goes, pretty much all my patients have somebody, be it medically, like whoever does that, hospice or whatever, or, family or something, or they live with people to help them along. He says, you're doing this all by yourself, which is amazing. But the harder part is the mental aspect of it, because when all you can do is sit in a recliner and take the TV remote and do this, when you start knowing 300 channels by heart, what number and what show at what time, it's starting to suck at life, and it's a challenge, because all I can do is right now wheelchair over to the walker, because I can't get the wheelchair inside the bathroom, take the walker the last couple of steps, to the bathroom. And then the other thing is go to the kitchen and get something where I ain't got to stand up, get something quick. And that's it, back to the recliner. I opened the door up in the morning and watched, it's about 7 o'clock, and watched the sun coming up. I sit and watch it for a while, and it's nice and all that. And then around 8 o'clock in the evening, I go to the back door and watch it settle. And I sit there and think, well, there's another day I did nothing. I got shit done. I mean, there's only so much you can do on the phone. I'm not even enjoying talking to my friends anymore. I used to just cut up with my friends all day. Not that I don't still love them to death, but it's just getting tired. That's all I do. And so now it's just lean back, click. What I recorded yesterday, click. What game's on today, click. It's just, it starts to tear you down mentally, because when your lifestyle was, even now, even with it like it was now, weekends on the road, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm partying, I'm chasing girls, I'm having a great time, I'm living the life. Even just like I said, for the weekend, it used to be, and even then, when I'm healthy, I'd be home partying, or enjoying life. Not just sitting there, click, watching reruns of Andy Griffith. But it just wears you out mentally. And it's I fight going dark, because when I go dark, man, it's some lot. Well, about one of them. Yeah. There's some dark thoughts go through your head. Yeah, things you wouldn't normally think about. And I had mentioned that to Lee, and he said, "Well, that's been my concern the whole time. Time I've been worried of that with you, because that happens to most of my patients, and they got people with them." But he had mentioned that one of his sons is in that field of I don't know what it would be called, what would that be called? The mental depression, depression,
psychiatric,
maybe psychiatric,
psychology.
But whatever it is, he said, well, one of my sons is in it, and he goes, I definitely believe in it, maybe, or it's too late, look into it, which kind of, there's times I'm like, I'm better. But then there's other times I'm like, man, I'm stronger than that. I can get through this. But I tell you, man, I've been, one of my friends, Wakita Underhar, otherwise Mike Wofford, has his big thing for me is he was like, just tough it out, man. You've done this your whole life. You got through a whole lot. We've known each other since 16. We've gone through some shit, seen each other go through shit. And he was like, just tough it out, man. You'll get through it, and then life will be back like it was. You'll be enjoying life, doing the things you used to do. I held on to that for so long, from the get-go, because it was actually real depressing from the beginning, because it was a sudden change. Then you kind of get acclimated to it, and then you get tired of being acclimated to it. So I mean, this has been a year and a half like this. It's not going to be over for another 6 months if everything goes well. So. I had held on to when he said, just hang on a little bit longer. Okay. A few more months go by, and he's like, same thing, a little bit longer. A few more months go by, and a little bit longer. I'm like, fuck, it's never coming. This is it. This is what our life's going to consist of. Wearing baggy ass shirts, looking 90 years old, doing a podcast. It's the highlight of my damn week, not day, the whole week. That's the highlights, doing this podcast. Which I actually enjoy that, talking with our people and everybody and yourself. But it's just the rest of the 23 other hours in the day after day after day. Like I said, watch the sun go up and then run to the back at night and watch it go down. And know all in between those hours, I got shit done, nothing done.
That's why I call and I text you every day to make sure,
I appreciate it. And
there's nothing wrong with ever asking for help either. I know you want to be strong and, pride is a huge factor here. But, don't be afraid to ever ask for help because,
Yeah, I mean, it's had to.
We all need somebody, Marty. Everybody.
Yeah, it's just, I don't think it's afraid to ask. I think it's just, I want to feel good about myself that I accomplished something. If I run to somebody else for that help, I couldn't even get through that.
I think you've accomplished a lot in these last couple of years, between Dark Side of the Ring, doing a whole piece on you. That was probably the best episode they ever produced. Starting this podcast and, going through everything else, the surgeries, the foot issues, and still doing the podcast, trying to actually get with your people on your. And
it was getting on the road here and there, if you remember, because I did some stuff with you. But that was
dude, you were traveling with pain. I saw it. I was witness to it, man.
Yeah. And, it's just, it's crazy, but the pain medicine itself is a whole nother issue. I thought it was a state law. Somebody saying, no, it's federal, but I don't know if they were right about that because it seems like every state's got their own setting, but I just know that Georgia's so limited. If it's federal, whatever it is so limited unless you go through pain management. The doctors themselves are only allowed to do so much. Then you got to go through pain management, and I've been unable to find somebody to take my cheap ass insurance for pain management.
The laws are all over the place. They're upside down, man.
Yeah. But so anyway, it is what it is. We'll get through it one way or another.
Yes, sir. What? Maybe you need a new Christmas present since you're going to be on your ass for at least 6 more months. Maybe I got to get you that virtual reality headset. So this way we can have you go all over the world from, your couch.
Yeah. And as long as it's got chasing women in it.
Oh, they have all kinds of games.
No, don't get me that. No.
Oh, man, you might be in real trouble, dude.
Yeah, don't get that one.
No. But this
what we got? What do we got queued up for the week?
For the week, well, this past weekend was Survivor Series, so that got me thinking to many moments, particularly.
That's one of my favorite.
So I'd like you to just walk us through this whole surviving the Warrior experience.
First of all, Warrior was a nut job. I mean, I loved him to death. I was one of the few friends that he had. I think Jimmy Powers was his favorite. Of course, Kerry Von Erich, that was his best friend. And then I think he liked me and Jimmy Powers, and he really didn't like anybody else. He would get a room. If he had to get a closet of a room at the arenas to be by himself, away from everybody, he would do that. I mean, the champion always needs a place to himself. He's got so much to go over, interviews, whatever promos. What he's going to do in the match, get nice and comfortable and be ready for it to give 100% for, the champion does need their own space. But I mean, if you'll get in a damn broom closet with a chair that barely gives you any air in it just to get away from the boys, that's a bit much. And just plug this fricker in. Child, you might have to cut this part right here 1 second. I got to plug the thing in. Okay, hold on.
So apparently Warrior would go into a broom closet, which I never knew. That's pretty insane that the Warrior would even go into a broom closet. I didn't know that he was that far out there. But looking at these pictures, this brings back so many memories. Marty's going to continue telling us about them in a moment. But to me, this was a special Survivor.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. That was Warrior, like he was just off the wall. He had such outlandish, just nonsensical damn. And some of them, I mean, he was deep in thought with that shit. His interviews for that character. I mean, but sometimes you can break it down. Like me and Jericho one time was sitting and listening to it right outside the booth with the little closed circuit thing TV, and we're listening to what he's saying. We're looking at each other, and we're like, what the fuck did you say? It was no damn sense to it. It was just some damn shit that like a monster from outer space could say it, and he'd get away with it because it made no damn sense. But he was kind of just wild and off the wall. If he got lost, like this right here, I can tell you what happened with the tape job. You know, first of all, he didn't want to sit there. It was out of character for him to sit still and let everybody talk.
Yeah.
You know, so and he stands there, you know, the Warriors all crazy, wow, 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 bam, bam. Well, he can't just sit there while everybody talks and wait his turn. So, I mean, that's what came to his mind. Grab the tape everybody up, tape everybody. It's just something for the Warrior to be active, you know, within character. But what was funny, man, I don't know, show the clips again. There's one, you can see the tape right there around Sean's neck. It was so funny because Sean was fighting it. You can see in the actual video, Sean was getting upset because his face started turning red at one point because it was choking him. He would pull down trying to get air, and he didn't want to piss Warrior off, so he wouldn't say nothing. He just showed him and said, "Hey, man, damn." Plus, I would have to shoot that over. But it was just hilarious. Warrior was just out of hand always. Wild man. He was one wild man. I mean, I loved him to death, but like I said, he was out there, bro. He always miserable.
Was this your first time working with him at that match?
Well, with him, yeah. You know, what was it? How did Survivors Wheel? Was it 4 teams of 4?
Back then, I think it was like 4 teams of 4. Yeah, they used to do wild shit back then.
Yeah, what do they do now?
Now they have 2 teams of 5, and it's usually SmackDown versus Raw.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mine.
They've been doing that format for a long time. But when
I've been out of the loop
for that match, did anybody come up to you and kind of try to like prep you for Warrior, like you know what you should expect? Or...
No, I forgot who we were working with. Oh, you know what? I think that's probably my most memorable moment in Survivor Series, as far as all Survivor Series, because I got eliminated, but of course that's not a big deal, and I got eliminated like towards the beginning, which is good because that means you don't got to remember 8 more finishes before yours comes up.
Yeah.
But when they had this person eliminate me, I thought, gosh, don't ever let me out of the rockers. They got no use for me outside the rockers.
Who eliminated you?
Bobby Heenan.
Oh man, I must have stung just a little bit.
Bobby's such good.
I can watch that. It's been so long.
Yeah, it was pretty good, except for that part, because he dropped the knee. It wasn't even a good one. But Bobby and I are such good friends. I'm fine, whatever. It's just like you really got me getting beat by a manager that does not wrestle anymore. If he was still an active wrestling manager, getting in the ring, but he wasn't even getting in the ring. He just suited up for that.
Yeah,
and beats the fucking rocker. This one, not the other one. But
I actually have a Bobby Heenan toy. I'll just show it to you real quick. I'm sure you remember this whole.
Yes, I do. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Bobby Heenan.
Yeah, he was a good one, man. Thank God for Bobby, man. There's a good shot right there.
Yeah, look at this shot right there. Look how jacked.
Oh, and I think Warrior also with that tape job. Warrior would take some of his frustrations out on guys. He wasn't crazy when he got an opportunity such as that. He liked Anvil. I mean, I don't know that he had any type of friendship, but he had respect for Anvil. You get better. But with Sean, he wasn't too crazy about it. He used to tell me things, So I think he kind of.
About the
what's
Warrior?
that?
Sean would tell you about Warrior?
No, Warrior would just tell me things about my partner that he's like, this fuck who's he think he is, yada yada yada, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which he wasn't lying. He wasn't wrong about some of it. I mean, Sean admits that he was difficult to deal with back then. But but he, what else will say though is out of that tape job, I think Warrior was actually getting it around Sean's neck and pulling,
choking on him a little bit. Yeah, no, you can see it in a lot of the pictures here. He was definitely. It looked like Sean was doing.
That's where he's pulling it down, trying to get his air.
Meanwhile, Warrior's choking himself. He looks like he's enjoying it. Look at this guy.
And he might have.
Yeah. Who knows, man? He's nuts. Jesus. You know, Marty, you do pretty good in impersonations. Is there any way I could get you to do an Ultimate Warrior promo impersonation?
The promo itself, I can't
Yeah,
recall.
you just start rambling. The Ultimate Warrior!
Yeah. The ultimate little warriors out there, we're coming down from the mountains of hell, and we're gonna go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Dude.
The periodical moment when the skies hit the skies and the skies explode, and all the ultimate warriors come out.
Look at that. Yeah, I mean, he looks like he's meant for definitely war. I mean,
well, he would for war. He was in war against the world. I mean, everything he was miserable. I mean, he was a great looking guy, great body, great character, great job, but miserable all day long. Where's everybody going to eat? We're gonna go to this Denny's right here. What the fuck I want to go there for? Well, it's right here, and the gym's right next to it. So who's going to do that? It was one morning we were with him. He ordered. I may have told. I know I've told the story before. I don't know about on our show here, but a warrior had ordered some egg beaters and dry toast or something. Egg beaters was the thing I remember. I mean, he was strict on his diet and his training, all that. Sorry about this damn shirt, but the girl comes up and sets the plates down. And she sets his little oval bowl of eggs, and I look over because I see him just staring. And I look and oh God, it was like almost floating in butter. And he goes, "What the fuck is this? Why would I order egg beaters if I wanted fucking butter? Get me!" And he swiped it off the table on the floor. Got the whole damn restaurant looking at us, and we're all like this. Man.
Well, what was he wearing? Because he obviously didn't have face paint on.
No, he didn't have face paint. Not when he was out and about. That was a funny thing about him too. I keep looking. I'm looking off the side of my camera's right here. I don't know what the hell. I got the Shawn Michaels eyeball going, the drifting eyeball. But it was what he's wearing. When he was out of gear, when he'd be going through the airport. He didn't want nobody coming up and bothering him. He was miserable. He didn't want nobody fucking with him. But he's big as shit, long hair. You can't help it. Look at that big guy, long hair, that decent look. Oh, that warrior guy. Well, if they come up to take a picture, he goes, "I'm not in my paint. I'm not in my get up. No, you can't get a picture." He would just run them off like that because he didn't want them. He would use that for an excuse. So then, okay, so it's not enough that people are recognizing him and going to ask him for pictures. He shows up one day with a tattoo of himself on his arm, right?
Oh, my God.
It's going down. So now he's got a tattoo of himself going down through the airport with same crap. Nah, I don't got my thing on. Then he gets that jacket. Remember that jacket? He would wear his own jacket with him on the back of it, that blue jacket. We would used to laugh like hell. He's wearing his own. He don't want nobody to know him or bother him, but he's wearing his own fucking jacket. Then he gets some damn boots. Just said Ultimate down one side and Warrior down the other. So he's just a walking billboard. And yet he's going to get pissed off if somebody comes up and asks for an autograph.
Says, "Hey, Ultimate Warrior, hi."
Yeah.
I met Warrior one time, and his signing was scheduled for 10 a.m. He showed up at 6 p.m.
He was scheduled for what?
10 a.m.
And he showed up at 6
p.m. I was the first person online out of 10,000 people, and I talked to him for about half a second. He didn't even say hello. He just signed and then threw the comic book.
Oh, yeah, he's... We wrestled. We all were over in I don't know, Ireland and Germany, somewhere in Europe, and we had all the boys. We had a personal appearance type things, meet and greet and all that. All the boys, all of them, different stations around the room. Warrior had a separate. He was coming later after everybody was done. You didn't want to sign it, with us. It was like an hour after we were supposed to be done. Oh, Honky Tonk didn't take that too well. He's like, "What are we supposed to do if we're walking out and he's walking in and we happen to see each other? Do we turn our heads?" the fucking honky couldn't stand it. What the fuck him? That prima donna motherfucker.
That's
man.
great. Well, yeah, Hockey Tonk probably got tight because they, didn't Warrior beat him in like 20 seconds, 30 seconds.
He beat everybody about 20 or 30 seconds. The reason it was because he couldn't go longer than that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I've heard that many times, man.
The one thing that stood out the most was when he had his little program with Ravishing Rick Rude.
Oh yeah,
and Rick was nobody to play with, man. And everybody figured Warrior being as big and hyper and aggressive as he is, he might be something. But we Rick Rude and Kurt Hennig were like best friends, and I'm great friends with Kurt, so I'm around with them all the time. And Rick comes in the dressing room pissed off one night. Kurt asked him, "Well, what's wrong?" It's fucking Warrior, man. He keeps hurting me with them fucking kicks. Like he would have you do the test of strength thing.
Yeah.
And he goes down and you kick him in the supposed to be in the belly or in that area.
Right?
Yeah, he kept getting him in the sternum and he couldn't kick, he was kicking the shit out of him.
Jeez.
And Rick asked him, he said, I've asked him twice now. If you can't do it, don't do it. If you can't do it, even better than that. They had a match whatever night. It was the next day, it was a day show in Topeka, Kansas. And we get to the dressing room, we walk in, and Rick Rude's already there. And he had about 3 beers. He was drinking beer already. And none of us really ever did that before a match. Afterwards, yeah. But this show hasn't even started. He's over there. And we're like, what the fuck's going on? Rick's not like a crazy partier like that, where I got to be drinking. He's not like that whatsoever. He wasn't like that whatsoever. And we went over and like, what happened? He goes, watch the show tonight. And we're like, tell you, boys, a day show. He says, watch the match. And we're like, wow, what's going on? He goes, I told Warrior if he didn't stop kicking me, it was going to be a problem. If he couldn't kick right. And he did it again last night. He goes, let's see who hurts today. We're like, oh, shit. What you know what that means? A shoot in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
And so when they went out, man, the whole dressing room, both babies and the heels are all at the curtain. And we're watching the match start off, and then it gets to a point where Rick punches Warrior right in the chest, like it's just a chest punch. And Warrior's face, the look on his face, we're like, oh, shit. And then he like snap bared him and rear chin locked him, and we could see him talking in Warrior's ear. And so we all asked him about that afterwards. Well, not only that, but here's another thing. At the end of the match, Rick was to take his belt and start walking to the dressing room, and Warrior was to come grab him, hit him and take his belt back. When Rick got the belt and walked back, coming towards the back with the belt, Warrior comes running after him. Rick turned around, squared off with him, looked at him like, come on. And Warrior had to stop and never get his belt back. so Rick got him with that too. But when he got to the back, we said, what was that? What happened in there? I mean, what was you whispering to him? Why did he look so like that look on his face? He goes, well, I gave him a shot. I gave him a punch, and I took him down. I said, now, do you want to work or do you want to shoot? And he said, work. Yeah, Rick was nobody to fuck with. Golden gloves or something. There,
I've heard a lot of crazy stories about his.
I've seen a few.
His ability, yeah, strong guy. Did they have TVs in the back, or all the guys were just watching through the curtain?
They had TVs. Well, no, for TV matches, not for house shows.
Not for house shows. Okay.
No, not that I remember. Not because there wasn't any camera. They had little cameras on the stand, so every match was filmed to get back to Vince. So you.
No matter what, every match was definitely being filmed.
Yeah. Vince got to see you. And the agents had to report back every night. They would call him like halfway through, tell him how the first half went. But yeah, that's how they did that.
Did Vince ever tell you anything about Warrior, or like give you a take or his opinion, or?
No. The only thing I knew was Warrior, I learned by being around Warrior.
You were around a lot of good teams, though. I have some other pictures here. You were with
my buddies. I was just talking with Luke the other day. Yeah, Luke. Yeah, Bush died.
Yeah,
that was sad. When I just heard that they're both my friends. So either one was sad. But when I heard the Bushwhacker, died, no, which one? I didn't know which one to be sad for a while.
Yeah.
And yeah, Butch was great, man. We
You guys did
we
a lot
had
of
some,
tours together, right?
yeah, we did a long ass one over in England once. I think this might have been when I was living in Liverpool at the time, and they came over for Brian Dixon and long ass. I mean, we went 34 straight days. We were doing shit like WWE used to do, but we're doing it over there after WWE trimmed it down to 10, 12, 13 days in a row. But yeah, it was Butch man. They're both tough son of bitches, but Butch would he played rugby. You got to be a tough motherfucker to play rugby. And my ankles are bad. He had a jacked up ankle. It looked like a hoof. I mean, the arch was way up because it broke down or something. If you know the way he walked, he kind of limped. That was why, because he had no choice the way his foot was. And yet he still went out and had matches and never complained. Tough ass man, you know.
Yeah, rugby's a hard sport, man. So what? He played rugby and then became a wrestler?
Yeah, as far as I know, that's how. I don't think he wrestled. They wouldn't play rugby.
You must have lost a lot of weight in England because the food is terrible.
It's not only terrible, it's small portions. You got to buy 2 meals to get one.
My
God. Put it all together.
A lot of teams, man.
But I enjoyed it over there. That was a fun one there, because I mean we were trying to talk to Jimmy. Jimmy's a good friend of mine too. I mean we were real close, especially in the AWA days. Which is where we got to know Jimmy, where I got to know Jimmy. We bonded. I seem to bond with some guys real close. And it's like, it's weird because we're so close when we're on the road. We're inseparable. But once you get home, you might call and say, hey, once, and then, you don't see her till the next time you're around. That's like audible. We always talk about that. Like everybody's got the good intentions of staying in touch when we get home. Yeah, okay. And maybe 1 call, maybe 2. But yeah, Jimmy was fun because he was off the wall we never knew to think, is he just a genius or is he not very smart? we didn't know which way to go with Jimmy. I mean, if you listen to his interviews, brother, let me tell you something right now. If I ever in the ring with you to do. And we're all like, we're into it because he's so intense, right? And Kurt Hennig was the best at Mr. Perfect and making fun of him. But we weren't making fun, we're cutting up. But he would say stuff and he'd give us right in there, like, what's he going to say? What's he going to do? It was like, what the fuck was that? To do? Get you in the ring. To do. He didn't, it's like, he would blank out in the middle of talking is way I finally figured out after watching so many of his interviews. Colonel the Biz, brother, you called me James one time. I don't like that name. That's his real name, James. James, whatever his last name was. I don't like that name, brother. And for that, when I get you in the ring, to do.
I love Snooker growing up. Did you ever see him jump off the cage at the Garden?
Yeah, I saw it. I was there, but I saw it.
Did you ever try to imitate it?
No, I wanted to.
Yeah,
I wanted to jump off the top, not to imitate him. Nobody can fly like him, but just to do that, just to the challenge. I mean, I love shit like that. I was kind of was held back of a lot of shit I could do.
Were you ever in a steel cage match?
Oh yeah, a bunch of them. I still got a chipped out elbow. Remember that big blue one?
I love that big blue one. Yeah,
that big blue waffle.
That was the classic WWF one.
Oh man, it was iron. I mean, it was
the same one that I think they had at WrestleMania 2, King Kong Bundy versus Hogan.
Yeah. And Shawn and I had a match in it. And I remember the first time he shot me into the ropes. There's only this much space between the ropes and the cage, because I got it right up against the apron. I hit the ropes, ting! You could hear the ting hit right on my elbow. Man, my arm went numb. It was like Sean comes over. I'm like, get back, get back, man. He goes, what are you doing? I said, hold on, man. I can't use my right arm. And I still can feel it from when it hit the ropes. Bing! Right. I mean, that thing had no give. When you throw the person in head first, you better get your hands up there because it's going to bust you open.
It's going to hurt. I got to ask you, did you play with a snake at all?
No, but I used to see a lot of shit. Well, some things I can't talk about.
Talk about what you can talk about.
What the fun thing with the snake was, well, I can tell you this. I've told the story many times. There was one time, Davy Boy, Jake kept him in that little green bag in his dressing room. A lot of times he'd let him out into the shower and, keep the water on so he could, snake could stay watered up, cooled off, whatever. Yeah. But he would keep him in the bag, when he wasn't in the shower. And when he kept him, this one time he had him in the bag, and Davy Boy goes, "Fucking watch this! Fucking watch this!" He takes the bag and throws it up in the air. I mean, that's a big ass snake. Dave, you got to be strong to throw like probably a 50-pound snake, throw it up in the air like that. Bam! He comes down 8 feet. Davey picks it up, throws it again. We're like, "You're gonna kill it, Davey! Stop!" And we're thinking it is killing, but we see it like you can see the bag moving everywhere. He threw it up a third time, and we had to grab Davey. That's the stop, man. Stop!
Jesus!
It was against Jake was going against Andre the Giant. And so they did their match, and when Jake pulled the snake out of the bag, he come right out and bit the shit out of Andre right in the chest. Wow! I mean, he was pissed off. They come back to his dressing room. Jake comes back and goes, "I've never seen a snake do that before. He's never been aggressive like that." We're all like this because we don't want rat on Davey. But at the same time, I mean, we're thinking somebody need to tell him what happened. The snake might get. Here comes Andre. He comes in and he's giggling. "Ho, ho, ho, snake bit me." He had a little trickle, like a little stream, but just like a teardrop thing, blood coming down. And he looked down and he goes, "Oh, snake beat me. And we look, and the fucking tooth, the snake's tooth is still in his chest. I said, "Andre, what's that white thing?" He goes, "Oh, he lose tooth." Oh, that's man, crazy. That was something.
I know. Yeah, I never knew that. That's crazy. But yeah, obviously that snake's gonna be pissed off with Davy Boy just abusing it. Where's PETA when you need him?
Yeah. They showed up one time about the snake. It was in Las Vegas. Okay. PETA showed up because what they were doing, Andre was splashing the bag like he was killing the snake, and so they showed up, like idiots. "Oh yeah, we're really killing the snake." They had seen him do a video or something where Andre smashed it the show before. So they show up and raise a whole bunch of stink about, "Oh, no, we're not going to let you do that. No, you ain't taking." They were like, "Shut up, bitch. It's a bag full of paper." It was the one that Andre's actually splashing. But yeah, man, that snake. There was another time, I don't even know where, Chicago. And Jake, he had like a trunk, like one of them army trunk things, little square trunk. And he would keep the green bag inside of that. And when he traveled, the snake would go underneath the plane. Obviously it can't come on. But there was one time somebody underneath, they recognized it. I don't know if it had Jake's name or the snake or whatever the hell, or word got to somebody underneath. And they decided they wanted to see the snake or see if it was, and they opened the trunk. The snake got out. We got all these people yelling and hollering by the windows, looking out on the runway, out on the tarp thing there. And we all go running over. Jake's snake is out on the fucking tarmac, slithering around. Jake's like, "Son of a bitch, you had to go out there and get it." And I mean, the flying was rough on the animals. There was another time we went up north in Canada during the winter, freezing shit. But they took the snake out and it was frozen hard. When they got him out of the thing, it was frozen. Like it wouldn't even move.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Jake didn't like that
poor
shit.
Damien.
Yeah. Poor Damien, part 2 and 3. And then another animal deal was with the British Bulldogs, Matilda. Man, they would do so much shit to that dog. Owen Hart would come by and pour Tabasco sauce in his mouth, like give him a treat. So he's eating that, and then you dump a bunch of Tabasco sauce on him and give him another one. All around, and they're trying to get him. It's TV taping, right? They're trying to get him to go out there. And then Davy Boy himself one time took a bottle of Jack and held Matilda's mouth and poured the Jack down it. And again, And it was funny, they're going out to the ring with Matilda, and Matilda is kind of wobbly. Stops right in the middle and just starts throwing up. It's on TV, right? He just starts throwing up from the Jack Daniels.
Oh my
God. They were brutal on the animals. Our first day in there, me and Sean, first day in the WWE, we thought, man, we won't see this at a zoo. We walked in the dressing room, and over in one corner, Ricky Steamboat had a big lizard, Gila monsters or some lizard he used to take to the ring with. It's sitting over there staring at the dog, Matilda. Matilda's staring at the snake, and it was in the shower. And Snake's staring at the bird, Coco Beware's bird. And the bird staring at all of them. Didn't like any of them. So it was like, what the fuck we walked into? It's a fucking zoo in here.
That's pretty trippy, man.
Yeah.
You had a hell of a lot of matches at Survivor Series. Any of them really stick out to you? I got a couple of screenshots here.
The Survivor Series that sticks out to me is that one right there, because Kid and I won it.
Nice.
And during the match, you can see me gimping around. The reason I was gimping around is the night before. It's a lot of backstory to it, but the girl I was seeing, she caused us to wreck her Corvette at 103 miles an hour. We rolled and flipped and ended up upside down, ironically, in a junkyard.
Wow.
And in the middle of the night, I mean, had to crawl out her window. My side was smashed in. And she got out. I had to crawl through her side. You know what was funny is I got all the way out of the car, and I'm thinking, I'll hurry up because it's upside down. Gas might be pouring if it catches fire. But I left my Guns N' Roses tape in the deck, so I went back and got the Guns N' Roses tape. It was more important. But it got out, and she pissed me off right away. She's looking at her car. She's got a little bit of blood coming down the side of her face. The adrenaline in the heat of the moment. Plus, wrestling, we're kind of used to little pains. I wasn't really feeling anything right then, except, adrenaline rush. But she goes, look at my car. I was like, your car, bitch, look at your car. We're alive. We lived through that. Look over there where we tore the fence down and we're flipping through here. But it was pitch black, though. That was the worst part. Just enough, not even moon, starlights, I think.
No cell phones.
No cell phone. In fact, she had gotten one, but we still had to walk to a payphone to call, for emergency service, and it was like I said, the day before Survivor, and my ankle was hurting right then. As it cooled down, we didn't know where we were. It's pitch black out there. We don't know where the road was. We didn't know which way to go, and we had to wait till a car came by. There was an airport nearby, and you see that little blue light, then a white light, coming around. So it was like, well, let's at least head towards the airport. And we got about 10, 12 steps, and the car went by. We're like, oh shit, the road right there.
Thank God.
So we got on the road. Then we hitchhiked over, trying to get up this street because we knew where there was a convenience store. It was actually driving back from Columbus to my house in Orlando, Columbus, Georgia, visiting my family for Thanksgiving. And her birthday was the night before. So it was all together a celebration thing. But we're heading back because I got to get back to Orlando and get to Survivor Series, which was out in Fresno or some shit, that one there. I don't remember. But it was a long flight. I know that. But they trying to remember how it got down to Kid and I. We were the last two. I don't remember. It must have been Scott Hall that would have got rid of Diesel. I can't remember how the elimination process went, but we ended up doing some slingshot flip or whatever and pinning somebody and winning the thing. Kid and I both. It was two of us. It was an elimination type thing.
Yeah.
Team elimination. Yeah. And but so you can see, like I said, during that match, you can see me limping around. That's what it was from. It was from that car wreck the night before.
I'm definitely going back to watch that match. I'm going to get some shots of you limping around.
Because of a damn car wreck.
Now, what's going on here? This is Survivor Series again, but look how many dudes are in the ring right now. This is, like you said, four teams of 5? What?
No, I think it was 14-4, wasn't it?
It looks more than 16 people. I don't even know. I mean, that's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people, and that's a lot of finishes. If you're one of the last few in there, that's a lot of damn finishes to remember.
Now, you and Shaw were having some issues at one of the Survivor Series, right?
Don't know if it was Survivor Series. This it looks like we had a match with the Road Warriors, and I think either I picked him up and his feet swung right around, hit Hulk.
Oh, that's the spot.
No, I picked Hulk up and Hulk's
And you hit
legs.
Sean.
Yeah, and he went down, and so then he was bitching like, "You caused me to get pinned. You caused me to get pinned." You know, and
that was the start, right, of the friction.
Yeah, that was the beginning
Copy
of it all.
that. Now you got to explain to me what's going on in this picture.
Oh man, I miss Chris every time I see him. In fact, why don't we go into Sonny after this, because they were I loved them to death as a couple. Everybody always asked me like, well, let me finish this. This was a power bomb off the top rope. At that time, nobody was doing that. Chris had seen it once, he said, in Japan, and he wanted to do it. And I'm like, bro, man, what the you're taking a power bomb off the top rope. He goes, I know, let's do it. I said, I don't feel comfortable. I've never done it. He goes, I haven't either. So that makes it even better. Right? But so we got up there and did it. It looked great, and everybody was raving about it. And to this day, you don't see it a whole lot.
Yeah.
And then because we did it right, then we were over in Australia. And he was like, let's do the power bomb off the top. I said, fuck, it's going to be a regular thing. One of these times the rope's going to be wet, from sweat from somebody, and your foot, the bottom of your wrestling shoes are slick. You can slide. You see it. That's why you see guys, girls, both going to the top rope and they'll slip. It's usually because of that, because of sweat on it. It makes it slick. It's not because they lost their balance, or couldn't get up. It's because there was sweat there and it's slick. Between the rope and your shoes is real slick. It's like getting out of a bathtub, onto a tile floor. It's real slick. But yeah, man, Sonny and I were pretty close. Yeah, she, everybody, we were good friends. We got some pictures with me and her hanging out in different places. If you can find those. But we all partied together for years. Me, her, Chris. I loved Chris to death, man. Most everybody did. And we liked her. Of course, some guys liked her too much. But yeah, man, what's that word? What's promiscuous mean? Illusion? Hello? Am I by myself? Okay, I'll just go on with that. I don't know if we're if it's recording or not now. I've lost my co-host. So if this is recording, we'll go with, Sonny was, she liked to get around. And, a lot of the guys didn't mind. I mean, how can you be friends with Chris yet get with his lady? I felt like, nah, man, because people would see me and her hanging out and thinking, oh, Marty's getting it too. But no, wasn't that at all. Can you hear me? Can I hear you?
Well, yeah, you can hear me. Absolutely. Yeah.
Now I can. We were gone there for a bit. Find the pictures where me and her are hanging out. There's a couple of them. One we were doing, there we go. The one on the right, we were doing some signing somewhere. We were doing the Wolf de Wolf right there. That used to be from our cat. And then the one on the left, that's where I saw all of her hard times start. She finally started getting into the vodka too much. And her boyfriend at the time was a good friend of mine, Damian Darling. He wrestled us. I won't say his real name so people don't go messing with him on Facebook. We were all together partying one night at his place. He's in, what the hell, somewhere in Connecticut. Did you fall down?
No, man, I had to take care of the kid. I had to put something on for him because he's going crazy over here.
Okay, we need to wrap up here pretty soon anyway.
Well, we're going to finish up.
But let's finish this and then let's get into our upcoming guest we're going to have, which is I'm thrilled about.
Yeah, but Sonny's going away for 17 years. You had said,
well, yeah. Let me tell you what I saw the beginning of it all. We were all drinking, partying, having a good time at Damien's place. And all of a sudden, Sonny just flips from all of us laughing and cutting up till she starts punching him in the chest. And he's like not sure what she's doing. You know, it was like she just hit a gear and she just sent her over to like one shot too many. And then she started grabbing him and choking him and punching him. And we're all sitting there looking. And she got him, I guess she was into her martial arts. So she got him in a rear, naked choke. And I mean, she's choking him. His eyes are bugging out. I'm looking at him like he's not doing anything. I remember jumping on her and peeling her arm off of him. And she got mad at me for doing that. She's like, "What are you doing? I thought you were my friend." I said, "Would you want me to let you kill your damn boyfriend?" And come to find out, like the next day, she jumped him again, and the police were called. That was time one that she went to jail. She got out that time, and right away. That's the thing. WWE or somebody, we'll put it that way, kept getting her out. They got her out the first time, and she went right back to his place, and it was a restraining order, but she didn't care. Her attorney took her there. Maybe she didn't tell him what it was, but she went there and went in a window or a door, got in, and she got arrested the second time because it was whatever it's called, restraining order. And then it was like, that was 2 times with him. Then I don't know, 2-3 months later, she got a DUI and went to jail a third time and got right out. She just kept getting right out. I mean, that's like today's society around America. When you can go steal shit and then be out in 45 minutes of getting processed and be right back out stealing again, why wouldn't you? Yeah. I feel like that's what happened with her. She kept going to jail for DUI and getting out 30 minutes later and being free.
She never got really held accountable big time, and now she's paying for it.
No, I mean, now, so it was like 5 times she got arrested in, was it a 6-month period? 3 times in 1 month. And
how did she even get her license again?
That's what I say. I mean, I don't know. Is she totally to blame, or is you can't say the laws and rules, but I mean, is it because she's female and they know what she'll do for, was it, I guarantee you none of us guys would have got that same treatment.
Yeah, she definitely had something going on, but she's got a lot going on right now. I'm going to remember her as Sunny, the valet, because that's...
Well, I mean, I've tried to get in touch with her a couple of times. I just haven't been able to, in her, where she's in prison. But I mean, I don't know how am I supposed to feel. I'm a friend, and will always be a friend. But what is a friend supposed to feel when you've caused a life? You ended a guy's life, by your drunk driving.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still want to be a friend, but I just don't know. Should you I mean, got no choice but to distance myself because she's in jail. For once I'm not. It's the opposite this time. But yeah, man, I wish her the best in there, no matter what. I mean, she's got to live with that, so that should be punishment.
That, to me, that's harder than anything else. Hopefully she actually feels some remorse and,
she got, what was it, 18 years? Yeah, 18 years.
17 or 18, something like that,
yeah. 17. She has 17 years because I was thinking about it. According to what prison she's in, some of them give you 2 for 1. And now what that is you get 2 days credit for 1 day served. Okay. So if you get 17 years, you got to do 8.5.
Wow.
And she's already
she'll probably get some credit for the time she's already done.
Oh, you get time served, yeah. So she's got like 3 years.
You never know. She could get paroled in 5 years even.
Yeah, maybe. And then here's the thing. Say it's 5 years, so that's total with her 3 years she's already served, 8 years. She's going to come out. The rest of us would be exiled because we killed somebody, and you're out on the streets already. And it was your 5th or 6th DUI, So the sympathy is just not there. It shouldn't, it shouldn't be. I mean, I will remain her friend, but the sympathy is just how can you have sympathy when 6 DUIs and you killed somebody finally? But when she gets out, I'm willing to bet when she gets out after 8 years, she's going to be glorified. It's, wow, you survived 8 years in prison. Wow, that's different. Let's do a movie. Let's do a documentary. Let's do some interviews, some high-paying interviews. That shit wouldn't happen for anybody else. And I'm not demonizing her because, like I said, that's my friend. But that shit wouldn't happen for me and you.
Probably not, man. Probably
Not
not.
probably.
I guess we're
Not
gonna have to see
probably.
what's gonna happen with her. Time will tell, but I don't think you're wrong. The movie probably coming out. I don't know if it'll be produced by Spielberg, but I'm sure the movie's coming.
Well, if nothing else, the dark side will do it.
Well, there you go. Yeah, they can do a whole series on her. But
Dark
touch back on
side.
Survivor Series a little bit before we wrap up and let everybody know about our guest next week.
Yes.
I wanted to just get your opinion on the gobbledygooker or the gookie, the gobbly, whatever this thing.
Goobly Gobbler.
What did you think of this whole?
Well, we didn't. None of us know what was going to happen. I mean, well, as far as I know I didn't, and Sean didn't, and all of us were sitting around like we knew something was coming out, but we're like, what the hell could come out of there? And we're thinking like another Andre the Giant type thing, you know, just this unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a huge egg. I mean,
it's
huge.
But I mean, is a car going to come out? Is there, what's going to come out? And then comes that fucking goobly gobbler. We all just looking at each other like, "Where's Candy Camera? We're being punked."
But I'm surprised they didn't put the IC title on him or something.
You know, Hector was such a he went with that thing so well. Such a good guy, Hector Guerrero. You know, so we just like, okay, good luck with that. But let's go ahead, man. I can't wait to see our guest next week. There he is, my boy, Rob Van Dam. You know, we've been cutting up talking about it for a while, and we finally we'll get this in for next week. Go back to that picture. You know, Rob doesn't know that he's been one of my favorites. I mean, I'm saying it now, so if you're seeing this, Rob, which I know you are, Rob hit me up with a text message. I was going to show it, like a screenshot it, but I didn't get to ask him first, and so I didn't want to do that. But I'll talk about it. But he hit me up the other night with a text message, at 3 a.m, like me and Rob do. He said, "Hey man, I was just watching your Party with Marty show, and at the opening, I saw my favorite wrestler, RVD, because we opened up the openings with him. Saying if you're seeing this, you're watching the Party with Marty." So he's funny, man. He's going to be a great guest. It'll be fun. We don't have a whole ton of party stories together, but we'll create some of our. We might come up with some. Like for instance, go back to that picture. When Rob didn't know that he was one of my favorites to watch. I used to love watching his matches. First time I saw him in ECW. When I was there for a couple of matches with Sandman and I forgot who else. God dang, I can't even remember who it was. I know Sandman because he kept hitting me with that freaking cane too hard. But now go back to the picture. The one picture, the one to the right, that's his action figure and my action figure. And I had found that somewhere, and I was trying to set up some little skit between me and him. If you see, he's just Betty Boop there. And Mike Piazza chasing after her. He's holding them back. That's his deal in this skit. If you look at mine up closer, can you pull it up closer? I thought you just did. Yeah. Look what I've got. I've got a rat and a fork. Damn it. I don't know where this scene was supposed to go, but I was trying to create something. But yeah, Rob, when I saw him the first time in ECW, he's a good looking dude walking through, just kind of swagger about him. Just confidence, not cocky at all, just confidence. And, you like seeing that. I'm sure the ladies do. But, and then he's built well, and so, I was like, this guy he has that it factor before you see a damn thing. Just looking at him, he's got the Hollywood, look. And I
thought he was Jean-Claude Van Damme the first time I saw him.
And they got some connection. I was reading about him. I never finished. But, I watched his match that night. I don't remember who he had, but I was just like, wow, the shit he was doing. I mean, even his Rolling Thunder was done like with precision. All the stuff he did. I think he did a super kick off the top rope coming into the ring. And
he was doing shit that, like, to me, he's the Bruce Lee of the wrestling world.
Yeah, man.
Like what Bruce Lee did for UFC, RVD did for wrestling.
Yeah, I'll wait and let him tell the story that I heard that kind of put him into badass category. He don't act like a badass boy, but he's not anybody to mess with. and I'll talk with him and let's see if he wants to talk about that because it might be something that they want to just squash that, let that sweep under the rug.
Sweep it under the rug, yeah.
Yeah, but Rob's been one of my favorite. And then I got to, when I got hanging out with him, I think our first time really hanging out and talking with each other was somewhere in Germany. I always go to Germany if it's in Europe, but somewhere over, in Europe. And he called me back. He was in the back of the bus with a few other partiers. And he said he heard that party, so he called me back there with them. And we hit it off from the get-go, man. And ever since then, we've been good friends.
He's just a chill, good dude, man.
Yeah, man. It's funny, man, because he'll hit me up at 4 or 5 in the morning. So, I mean, I do get a lot of friends calling me at that time, but there's something about when Rob calls, I'm like, it's Rob, and he's fucked up. So let me get it. But I get him back too, man. He leaves the funniest damn answering machine messages. They'll be when I hear like say the number, like you got a message from yada 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 number, and then it says 3 minutes and 10 seconds. I'm like, oh, that's Rob. he leaves it. He said on one of them, he goes, hey man, he says, I think I did you a big favor. And I'm listening to the answer voice thing, and he says, yeah, this girl the other day said she was looking for you, that you owed back child support for like 2 years, 3 years for 2 of her kids. And I said, I think I can help you. And I gave her your number.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, he does shit like that all the time. He's great, man.
I can't wait for next week. It's going to be a good time. It's confirmed. We'll be recording next Tuesday. So everybody should be looking forward to that next week.
Yes, sir.
You want to say anything to your people?
Yeah, man, I love y'all. Tune in again. Check us out. We're going to get bigger and better as we go. That's why we're hypothetically the best podcast ever. But tune in next week. Same damn time, same damn station, same damn place. And we'll be damn right here. All right.
Dude, if you're seeing this right now, you're watching The Party with Marty.
Yeah.